There are some characters in fiction that feel less like characters and more like a destination, a place we go for a specific feeling. And when it comes to that feeling of warmth, wisdom, and pure unconditional comfort, the internet has unanimously elected one man for the job. Uncle Iroh from Avatar: The Last Airbender. It's easy to see why. He's like a walking cup of hot tea, a source of gentle proverbs, easy smiles, and a non-judgmental presence in a world that is defined by conflict. He is, in every sense of the word, a comfort character. When we're feeling lost or sad or cynical, we can turn to Iroh. His scenes are a balm. We've memed his wisdom into a universal language of kindness, and I love that version of Iroh. When I was going through a period of intense shock and grief in my own life lately, I found myself rewatching Avatar, and his presence in that story was a big part of what made me feel so safe. But as I watched, I started to feel that this popular image of him, the cozy grandpa, is dangerously incomplete. It's the after photo. It's the final healed scar. And we're so busy admiring it that we forget the wound. We forget that this gentle, tea-loving old man also has a title, a name that was not given in love, but in fear, the Dragon of the West. And I've come to believe that the truth behind Iroh's smile is far more painful and far more powerful than we typically give it credit for. His kindness isn't a gift, it's a victory. It's hard to reconcile the man we know with the man he was. The Iroh we meet in the first episode is, well, he's a bit of a disappointment. He's the lazy, slightly goofy uncle on a broken down ship, a constant source of exasperation for his driven, angry nephew. He's presented as the washed up, failed older brother to a new, powerful Fire Lord. But we have to remember what this failure means. Before he was a failure, he was the Fire Nation's greatest success. This wasn't just any old general. This was Crown Prince Iroh, the firstborn son of Fire Lord Zulon, the celebrated, charismatic, and brilliantly minded military mind. He was the heir to the throne, and he was the living embodiment of the Fire Nation's imperial project. That title, Dragon of the West, wasn't a nickname given by friends. It was a name of fear. It was given to him because he was a peerless firebender, a man who allegedly slew the last of the great dragons, and he used that power to lead the Fire Nation's armies in its 100-year-long war of conquest. He wasn't just a participant, he was an architect. The Iroh we love, the one who preaches balance and peace and respect for all four nations, that man once led a 600-day siege against Ba Sing Se, the capital of the Earth Kingdom. He was there to burn it to the ground, to conquer it in the name of the Fire Nation, and to secure his place in history as a legendary hero. He was, by every definition, the bad guy, and I don't think he was conflicted about it. Not yet. He was a man defined by his duty, his honor, and his nation. So what happened? What turns a man like that, a man at the absolute peak of his power and prestige, into the gentle gardener we come to know? The answer is simple, and it's brutal. His world broke. He was at the gates of Ba Sing Se, at the absolute apex of his military career. This siege was meant to be his crowning achievement, the victory that would cement his legacy and his place as the next Fire Lord. He was fighting for his nation, for his honor, and for his legacy. And then, the front line collapsed, and his son, Lu Ten, was tragically killed. It's almost impossible to overstate what this moment means. It's not just the unimaginable grief of a father losing his child. It was the total and complete implosion of his entire identity. The war he had championed, the nation he had served, the honor he had pursued. It all led to this. It led to his son dying in a ditch for a cause he could no longer justify. The conquest, the glory, the legacy, it was all revealed in an instant to be a hollow, meaningless lie. He didn't just lose his son, he lost his faith. He lost his reason for being. The siege broke, he retreated in shame, and in that moment, the Dragon of the West died on that battlefield alongside his son. The man who returned to the Fire Nation was just a ghost, a failure. His younger, more ruthless brother Ozai used the tragedy to usurp his birthright, cementing his fall. He lost his son, his purpose, his honor, and his throne all at once. This is the crucible. This is the absolute 0 point from which the Iroh we love begins. This is the part that I think we as an audience tend to get wrong. We see the end result, this kind, wise old man, and we assume that this wisdom is some innate quality he always had, that it's a gift, that after his son died, he just became nice. But I don't believe that for a second. What we are seeing is not a gift, it's a scar. It's the painful, patched together, and hard-won philosophy of a man who hit rock bottom and had to find a new reason to live. His kindness, his patience, his deep understanding of balance, these are things he learned in the dark. When you lose everything that defines you, you have two choices. You can let the bitterness consume you, or you can try to build something new from the rubble. Iroh chose to build. His journey into the spirit world, his study of the other nations' philosophies, this wasn't a hobby. This was a desperate search for meaning. This was the work of a man trying to understand how the world he believed in could have been so wrong. His wisdom is so profound because it was forged in the fires of his own failure. When he tells Zuko that pride is not the opposite of shame, but its source, he's not quoting a proverb. He's speaking from experience. He's describing his own life. His kindness feels so authentic because it comes from a place of deep personal suffering. He's gentle because he knows the true cost of violence. He's humble because he knows exactly what meaningless pride and ambition cost him. And this brings us to Prince Zuko. This relationship is our main window into Iroh's new philosophy, and it is the single most important part of his redemption. Because his patience with Zuko, it isn't passive. It's not just the easygoing nature of a relaxed old man. It's the active, daily, difficult work of his new life's mission. Think about how unbelievably frustrating Zuko is. He's a ball of concentrated rage, pride, and self-hatred. He's arrogant, disrespectful, and completely blind to the wisdom Iroh offers him time and time again. He literally yells at, abandons, and even betrays his uncle. And in the face of all of this, Iroh never gives up. He never writes him off. Why? Because Iroh looks at Zuko and he doesn't just see his nephew. He sees himself. He sees a young man being consumed by the exact same poison that he was. That toxic cocktail of Fire Nation pride, honor, and legacy. And worse, he sees a boy walking the same path of self-destruction that led to his own son's death. Iroh's gentle guidance, his constant presence, his willingness to endure Zuko's rage, that is his penance. That is his redemption. He failed to save his first son from the war, so he has made it his new life's purpose to save his second son from himself. When he tells Zuko, "I was never angry with you. I was sad because I was afraid you had lost your way," he is speaking as a father who has already lived through the ultimate fear. His patience is not passivity. It's the most active, disciplined, and powerful choice he makes in the entire series. If you want to understand Iroh's philosophy in its purest form, you just have to watch his segment from the Tales of Ba Sing Se. It's maybe 3 minutes long and it's a masterpiece. We see him go about a simple day in the city. He helps a child, he gives a would-be mugger a lesson on his stance, he makes music, and he spreads his simple, gentle wisdom. It's the perfect portrait of the cozy grandpa we love. And then the sun begins to set. He walks away from the city alone and sets up a small makeshift memorial. It's for his son, Flute. It's his birthday. And as he sings Leaves from the Vine, he breaks down sobbing. This, for me, is the key to his entire character. His life of making tea, helping strangers, and playing music isn't just a happy retirement. It is his spiritual discipline. It's the conscious daily practice he performs to choose light, even as his heart is still fundamentally broken by grief. He doesn't help people because he's a nice guy. He helps people because he knows the pain of not being helped. He shares his tea because it's an act of communion, a small ritual of peace in a world that he knows is full of violence. He sings his song for his son, not just to remember him, but to actively process the grief that never truly goes away. His kindness is not effortless. It's a daily, conscious, and deliberate choice to turn his own suffering into a source of healing for the world around him, precisely because he can't or won't let that suffering be in vain. This new philosophy is put to the ultimate test in the show's finale. While he was in prison, Iroh didn't just wait to be rescued. He trained. He spent his time meditating on his own failures and reforging his body into a weapon, a single-minded instrument of purpose. When he breaks out of the cell during the eclipse, it's one of the most powerful moments in the show. This isn't the lazy old man anymore. This is the Dragon of the West, Unchained. And this is where his transformation becomes complete. He is, without question, one of the most powerful firebenders on the planet. He could have chosen to confront Fire Lord Ozai himself. It would have been the poetic, karmic, and honorable end, the elder brother returning to reclaim his throne from the usurper. But he doesn't. He tells Zuko that is not his destiny. Instead, his destiny is to do the one thing he failed to do all those years ago: liberate Ba Sing Se. This choice is everything. The first time he came to that city as a conqueror, a dragon, bringing fire and death in the name of glory. This time, he returns as a liberator, a true Grand Lotus, bringing balance and freedom. He uses the exact same power that once defined his tyranny, but he now wields it for healing, not for glory. He's no longer interested in the throne. He's no longer interested in his own legacy. He has found a higher purpose, to undo the damage he helped create and to restore the balance he once sought to destroy. It is the final, definitive proof that his transformation is real. So we come back to the comfort character we all know and love, and I hope it's clear that I still love that version of him, but I don't see him the same way anymore. His comfort isn't cozy, and his wisdom isn't easy. It's the furthest thing from it. Iroh isn't a comfort character because he's a nice guy who was born with a gentle soul. He is an aspirational one. He is a testament to the fact that you can be a bad person, that you can be a central part of a violent, destructive system, that you can be consumed by pride and failure, failure and that you can still choose to be better. He is proof that a person can endure the unimaginable, the loss of a child, the loss of an identity, and choose to forge that all-consuming darkness into a source of light. His kindness is his life's great work. It's the product of decades of self-reflection, discipline, and a daily, conscious choice to heal instead of to hate. When I look at Iroh now, I don't just see a man I want to have tea with. I see a map. I see a guide for how to navigate our own failures, our own traumas, and our own grief. He's a profound argument that the deepest wisdom comes from surviving the deepest pain, and that our greatest strength can be what we build from the ashes of who we used to be. He's not just a character we turn to for comfort. He's a character we can all hope to become. Thank you so much for watching and for all of your support. I was floored by all the kind and thoughtful comments, recommendations, and constructive criticism I received on my last video. Interacting with you all means the world to me. Please let me know how you think of Iroh or Avatar as a whole in the comments, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.